the tribal literature. Even if you consider Shakespeare, for example, most of his plays are based on the indigenous people and their stories from historians. So we take from them, enrich our tradition, and we forget. It has happened all over the world. I would like to tell you one example. It happened just a few years ago. How the languages, as Dr. Rao has said clearly in his speech, that the linguistic diversity, that is the strength of our country, of our literature, of the world literature. That is the foundation. That is from where we are. We cannot say no to my mother. We cannot say no to my father. We cannot say no to river. We cannot say no to sky. We cannot say no to hills. We all need it. You just imagine how yesterday you have seen it on internet and everywhere, how the forest of Amazon, which are the lungs of the world, of the earth, are now burning. Why? We are doing crimes to our own civilization. And nature is now threatening us. The nature is now coming back to us with reply. We should be careful about that. It is not only happening in literature, it is not only happening in nature, but also it's a great signal to all of us. It's a great warning to all of us that we should be careful about it. In the islands of, Andaman Islands, for example, there are so many languages, as you have in Northeast and also in all over India. So many languages, not recognized that much. Some of them, for example, as Dr. Rao has said, that Sahitya Academy is recognizing so many languages which are not on a schedule. And still we have many, and we have to find them out. And there was one language which died. I would like to tell you the story of that language. Many of you know the story. There was a language in the Andaman Island. It's called B-O. This language died only 6-7 years ago. How it died? How does a language die? So many languages are dying in the world. Even there was a BBC documentary on the death of languages very recently. So the language called Bo died with the death of the last surviving speaker of the language. Her name is Boa. She was 85-year-old, and she had no other person near her, around her, nowhere in the world. She was the last surviving speaker. And she used to speak to the birds coming down to earth, coming down to trees. She used to speak to the waters of the sea, of the ocean, Indian Ocean, to the trees. She had nobody else to speak the language with. All died. And finally the last surviving speaker, Boa, died. She saved the language even during the time of tsunami, when it was washed totally. How he saved the language? He chose the topmost hill in the Andaman and climbed the hill and remained there on the top of the hill. And finally when waters receded, and finally she came down and the language survived. Because she survived. But recently she died and the language died. I'm not saying that this is going to be the case with each language. But this is alarming. This is a high time for us to love each and every language. No language is small in this world. No language is big in this world. And I tell you, even the language I am using right at this moment, even this language is not a big language. It is we. We have made this language big. Because when Shakespeare wrote in this language, then how many people were there? It was like a small island. And he used to have very small audience. And you will think that in 450 years, now the language has spread because of a lot of things, because of colonial, imperial, spread all over the world. So, English has come to this point. Any language can come to this point. So my point, that you, the writers of this country is rich in ethnic and linguistic diversity. It is our strength, it is our power, and we should explore this power. Somebody who is writing from a small place, it doesn't mean that he is small as a writer. Maybe someone who is writing from a place where even internet has not reached. Maybe from a cave. Maybe from a small place on the side of a river. I celebrate everyone. I celebrate everyone's language. I celebrate the literature of this country written down in hundreds of languages. And as you know, still the oral tradition, we have been trying, a lot of publishers of the world have tried to put world literature into letters. But sometimes I feel that oral literature, which is the base, which is the foundation, which is the basin of civilization, which is the basin of world literature, global literature. So it's time for us, as Sahitya Academy has done, as Dr. Rao has also pointed it out, and I hope that we are going to celebrate our literature. I am not going to say tribal literature. It is our literature. It is Indian literature. Indian literature is many, and Indian literature is one at the same time. Thank you all. Thank you very much.